What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Dermy Wormy, and some numbers are starting to come out for Mandalorian Season 3. some funny numbers, and I'm going to have to give some caveats here because of the sources that are used to gather these numbers. They're not 100% accurate. You're never going to know the actual numbers for like a lot of these streaming shows. Those are all kept behind the scenes by the streaming services. But there's something funny going on here. You gotta admit it. So, from the direct, The Mandalorian Season 3 suffers weak premiere viewership. From, as the direct points out, having kick-started Disney Plus's box office with Season 1 and 2 because it came out during the time of pandemic and there was nothing else to watch. It was the only thing on Disney Plus, so yes, it had a major viewership. But from being that to now actually being lower than Loki, lower than Boba Fett, and I think lower than Obi-Wan. Actually, lower than Andor as well, and we'll get into this. According to The Wrap, which you can't really trust The Wrap on a whole lot of stuff, which shared data collected by Samba TV, The Mandalorian Season 3 premiere had a relatively weak performance in comparison to some of the other Star Wars Disney Plus series. So, real quick, when it comes to Samba TV or the Nielsen ratings for these streaming services, they only track TVs that have these apps already built into it. So I think the Roku device has it. Some of the smart TVs already have it pre-built in, so it gets a little fudgy here or there. You don't quite know. This is only from those TVs that utilize it. Doesn't track your phone, your PC, your Xbox, things of that nature. That being said, these numbers are hideous. Although its viewership exceeded the recent Andor by close to 50%. Okay, it did better than Andor. I misread that. But also, nobody watched Andor. Andor being what is accused to be the greatest, as of right now, the best for Disney Star Wars. Nobody watched it, and that's a fact. It still trailed behind Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Book of Boba Fett premieres by 28% and 2%, respectively, while also falling short of Marvel Studios' Loki premiere by 35%. Excuse me. It trailed behind roughly Mandalorian Season 2's opening by about 25%. There is no hype for this show. Yes, the trailer was viewed tons and tons of times, but that was it. That was it. Like, I didn't see any hype for the show. I forgot it was even coming out. Yeah, maybe some kids are excited for it, but every time I think about this show, I think about baby Grogu and all the heinous things this frog monster baby genocidal maniac has ever done. Oh God, I hate baby. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. As shared by Samba TV, the first episode of Ewan McGregor's Jedi spinoff was viewed by 2.14 million U.S. households in the first 4 days. Meanwhile, the debut of The Mandalorian Season 2 and The Book of Boba Fett were watched by 2.8 for Mandalorian and 1.5 for Book of Boba Fett. This data would seem to indicate Season 3, Episode 1 was viewed by just under 1.5 million households in the U.S. So, again, plus or minus people here or there. Don't know by how many. You can't... This is ridiculous. This is happening for a reason. This has been a steady trend for Disney Star Wars. Slowly and slowly and slowly, it has steadily lost viewers. It has lost people being interested in it. Andor, nobody was really interested in Andor, yet it's being proclaimed as the best Disney Star Wars had to offer so far. But since, I want to say, The Last Jedi, viewership kept waning. And the one time you guys had a chance to get people back, you know, the end of Mando Season 2, you butchered it. You botched it. You got rid of Gina Carano. You attacked fans again. Remember, what was that crazy writer dude's name again? I can never remember. How he went after Star Wars Theory for crying and having a visceral reaction at Luke's return and being Luke. everything has just continually gone downhill. And when you pull up some of these numbers, and first off, we have the Samba TV thing, 2.14 million US households watched the series premiere of Obi-Wan on Disney Plus, and whatever. You can take a look at this, and this has been the Star Wars movies as of late. So you got Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Yep, pretty darn good. You got Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Viewership started going down, but then it also went down to Rogue One, Rise of Skywalker. It just steadily went down throughout time because people were starting to get driven away. They were seeing things they didn't like. I still regret the fact that I saw all those movies in theaters. I did that. It was a disaster. But when you also take a look at some of the audience scores, how people have been reacting to these movies, shows, how people have been actually watching these, they have all steadily shrunken over time. And that's for one reason. It's not good. They drive people away. They bastardize canon. There are no real Star Wars fans anymore. Well, that's not true. The real Star Wars fans, the people that are actually interested in Star Wars, have left. What you have now is your Disney fans. Disney fans are going to watch Disney stuff. It's a matter of time, and they're going to fight viciously to defend it. But you drove away the actual fans. You drove away the actual people that care about this property and replace it by people that, when they see Baby Grogu, they're like, yeah, Baby Grogu. Ah. God, every time I think about this darn creature. When you had the chance, though, to bring people back, to give people what they wanted, to give people true Luke Skywalker, you drove them away. You got rid of Gina Carano. You attacked people for liking this stuff. And slowly and steadily, people quit watching. The fact that the Book of Boba Fett has a higher premiere than Mando Season 3 is actually scary. Because when Mandalorian Season 3's trailer was coming out, there was a lot of people on Twitter going like, wait, Grogu's back? I thought he left. Because people are dipping in and out. People aren't watching everything. It's so oversaturated to the point that nobody's actually interacting. You have diluted Star Wars to the point that people thought Cassian Andor was good. It wasn't Star Wars. It was boring and milquetoast. That's how awful Star Wars is in right now. What you did to Obi-Wan drove so many people away. You drove away the prequel fans that you already drove away. EU fans left long time ago, as Adam so oftenly reminds me. EU fans barely even acknowledge what Disney has ever done. I barely acknowledge what Disney has done now because I don't care. To me, Star Wars is dead. To me, all I'm waiting for is the proper time to give it the correct burial. Give it the Jedi send-off. We'll burn all the copies. We'll stand around in cloaks and look sorrowful. But we haven't got that chance because we keep getting it paraded around like Weekend at Bernie's. Oh, here's Star Wars. Here's Star Wars. We slapped a dead corpse with Star Wars. There's Star Wars for you. Oh, remember Yoda? Remember this? Remember that? I'm tired of it. I am not shocked that this viewership numbers are so low. I'm not, because every description that I just told you, people don't want to watch and engage with this anymore. And when we were tracking, people were tracking it for to see the actual engagement. There was no real engagement. There was no care for the people actually looking forward to the show. Now, I know some people actually wanted to watch the show, but I also know some people are begrudgingly watching the show. And when you have to take into account 1.5 million people, something like that, plus or minus a few, maybe even that amount, period. I know some people that just throw this stuff on just to listen to. That doesn't mean they're actually engaged with the content. That doesn't mean they actually know what's going on. And by all accounts, nobody actually really cares. You've driven Star Wars into this point that nobody wants to be a part of it. It's so oversaturated. It doesn't feel like Star Wars anymore. And when people were starting to come back, you biffed it. You scared them away. And then as my buddy Adam, the Renaissance Stir, go check him out, constantly points out, they're pillaging the EU for content, but then bastardizing it. They constantly go like, oh, we're just using this. Oh, this is a EU story. This is a part from the EU. This is something from the EU. Yet simultaneously, you have to remember that Kathleen Kennedy famously said they had no content. They did whatever they wanted to do. They had nothing, no books, no nothing to go off of. When they immediately, the first move they made was decanonize the EU and call it Legends. So to try to get EU people back, they bastardized the EU. To try to get sequel fans back, they bastardized Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. God, what they did to Vader. They constantly tried to, I would say, MCU. Well, no, they successfully MCU'd Star Wars long ago, to the point now that nobody cares. It really is a dead brand. Nobody's watching it. Nobody's engaging with it. It got to the point where Reva's lightsaber, a Hasbro toy, couldn't get funded, yet a G.I. Joe jet, I want to say it was, I don't remember what it was exactly, got funded in a day. People aren't buying this stuff. People aren't engaging with it. Yeah, you might see people over around Galaxy's Edge and going over to the Starship Cruiser, but the numbers aren't there. Star Wars is dead. And it pains me to say that because I like Star Wars. I am actually looking forward to the EA, the EA Fallen Order. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Fallen Order. I actually kind of enjoy those games. But I found a way to enjoy them without interacting with Star Wars. I say, this is fun sci-fi game. It's not Star Wars, it's fun sci-fi. That's about it. Other than that, I 100% view Star Wars as dead. I don't even have the acknowledgement or want to watch my VHS OG OT trilogy unedited, where Han fires first. I don't have the urge to watch those anymore. I don't have the urge to engage with them anymore because all roads lead to the same way. And I'm dead to it. Well, let me get your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, share it out with your friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.